I got a good mate, who for reasons best known to himself is well into ultra-marathons. Right now he's in Jordan, before that it was Nepal and his next is in Iceland. He's always going on about how physically and mentally exhausting these challenges are. The physical bit I get, but after today I'll be telling him they are nowhere near as mentally grueling and painful as watching Shrewsbury Town week in week out. I'm starting to think there is a case for the club to pay for a group counselling session for any fan who feels in need of help. Form an orderly queue. It all started out so positively too. The sun was beaming down, the blue-amber army were present in surprisingly large numbers, lustily working their way through their back catalogue. Could today be the day when our season finally got its arse in gear? Team-wise, the absence of the ever-improving Josh Feeney caught many of us on the hop. Toto had stepped into the breach, hardly what you would call a like-for-like replacement. There were plenty of concerned faces amongst the travelling Salopians. The lack of a sub-keeper was another puzzler. Within 2 minutes of the start all our worries had been forgotten as Town took the lead through Leo. A cross by Hall into the home box was missed by O'Shilliger and Castledine was perfectly placed to score past PYM from close range. Wow, maybe it really was going to be a day to remember. It certainly looked that way as Shrewsbury took complete control of proceedings. Mansfield looked as surprised as most of us in the away end. The lads were pressing and moving, passes actually found their intended targets and they were knee-deep in confidence. God knows what they had been working on at sundown in the week, but I wish they had stumbled on it a month ago. It was the nearest I've ever come to being involved in a mass hallucination. The Stags were being chased and harried at every turn, and their frustration was not far from the surface. Out of nowhere Savin almost gifted them a chance with a crazy pass out, but once the moment had passed, Town were back on the front foot. When Ojo signed, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was less than blown away. I'll hold my hand up and say I was wrong. He has looked the business since his arrival, and today he was on his game once again, ably supported by Gillihad. We were using the full pitch, switching the ball, trying to work space. Leo and Sago were keen to be involved, and Mal Benning and Luca Hull likewise. Sago set up Funso, but his shot disappeared down Pim's throat. If I've got one gripe, it's that we don't shoot enough. We keep trying to work a better angle. We need to get back to basics and have a dig. Ojo did return the compliment, but once again his shot lacked everything bar direction. As the half moved on, it was becoming clear that for all our dominance, we needed a second goal. Castledine probably should have claimed it when he headed well wide from a corner. Winchester followed that with another weak shot, and minutes later Mal blew what looked to me like a great opportunity. He was played in on the left by Sago, but appeared to take a touch too much and shot into the side netting. Not only has Savin inherited Marco's boots, he's also getting the hang of time wasting, which earned him a yellow. With no sub-keeper, that was a stupid booking in my opinion. All it would take now would be an accidental coming together, and God knows who would be pulling on the gloves. As the half neared its conclusion, Mansfield finally started to threaten and came oh so close when a shot from Bacchus was blocked on the line by Hoole. I admit to being relieved when the whistle went. Even though we had been the better side, never let it be said that any Shrewsbury fan is going to get carried away by a 1-goal half-time lead. Unsurprisingly, Nigel Clough had dipped into his old man's motivational handbook, and they came out with positive intent. All Town needed to do was take the sting out of their momentum and wait their turn. What did they do? Give a penalty away within 2 minutes. You couldn't make it up. Gregory broke into the area and Toto duly sent him flying. It was a ridiculous challenge, ungainly, clumsy, badly timed, but also not surprising. It was Toto after all. Needless to say, Gregory sent Savin the wrong way from the spot. Now it was game on. Salop did what they usually do after conceding. They sat back and tried not to concede a second. Not the most positive of approaches. Gregory and Quinn quickly sent efforts goalwards, but they were blocked en route. On the hour, Leo was replaced by Perry, a strange move considering Leo had probably been our best player until then. For a spell soon after, both sides traded shots, which made for a nervy but entertaining finale. With 10 minutes remaining, Tom Bloxham replaced Sago Jr. and Aaron Pierre lumbered on in place of Toto. Now that was a like-for-like replacement. Bloxham's first contribution was to skin his marker and cross for Lloyd, whose diving header brought an excellent save out of Pim. The clock was slowly counting down, and a point was still looking a distinct possibility, that is until Aaron got his header wrong and set up backers for a through ball in the 86th minute. He guided it between Winchester and Morgan Feeney Town and into the path of Lewis, who beat the approaching Savin all ends up. That's why Salop fans don't get carried away by a 1-goal halftime lead. We've been here too many times before. A flurry of added-on minutes were well managed by the home side. As for Shrewsbury fans, we were just like the condemned man waiting for the axe to fall. And fall it did. So much for a happy ending. This was yet another town story with a sting in the tail. For so much of today's game, we had been the better side, but still ended up with naught to show for it. Once again, our long-standing failings had resulted in us losing a game. Aaron and Toto are not League One standard anymore, and I'm sure deep down they know it. Up front, Lloyd works so hard, but he's never going to win us games. What's going on with Marquis? Anyone know? The same question can be asked about Tommy O'Reilly. We all suspected this was going to be a difficult season, but it's starting to look as though that might be an understatement. I know there is still a very long way to go, but right now I'm sure the bookies have us nailed on for relegation, and I'm not sure how we are going to upset the odds. It looks an uphill task, to be honest. We've got 2 home games on the bounce, and we need 4 points from them. I would like to think we can achieve this, but I'm not prepared to put my life savings on it. I'll get back to you on that. Enough pontificating. It's been a long day, and I've probably outstayed my welcome, so I'll bid you all a good night and wish you a happy Sunday. Until next time, Floor eat Salopia.